Hello, Ryori Fushimitsu here. Welcome to Let's Play Ape Escape 2 Part 7. So this time around, I think we're going to be heading off to Greece or somewhere like that. Simian Citadel. I think this is in Greece or someplace like that, considering how Greek it looks. So we're capturing 13 monkeys in this level, a real downgrade from what we had to capture in the previous level. And so here's all the classic ancient Greek architecture all built around. We're going to have to jump. We're going to have to be like what's his name? Odysseus or whatever his name was in that movie called Odyssey or something like that. I don't know. Someone told me it was the same thing as Jason and the Argonauts, but I disagree with that. So right now, we're pretty much in Greece, and we're pretty much going to go on a big odyssey, a big classic Greek odyssey for a really large level, only to capture a seemingly small amount of monkeys compared to what we're used to now at this point. And so, of course, it's making us use this banana thing again, this useless banana gadget again, so we could get that monkey out of there, and so we could, capture that monkey. And of course, they're pitted against all the same enemies as usual. I'm pretty sure these enemies are pretty standard and uniform for the whole entire world. All the same enemies all over the world. Regardless of where you are, you deal with the same kind of enemies. Kind of like at restaurants all over the world, like McDonald's. You go to McDonald's anywhere in the world, they pretty much serve you all the same stuff and it tastes the same. Same with Burger King and all those other places. I'm sure it all tastes the same. They mass produce it everywhere in the world. So it tastes the same regardless of where you are. Maybe Spectre wanted to give us that kind of treatment with his enemies, make them all the same regardless of where in the world you are. And this level is even though most levels in this game have non-linear gameplay or non-linear pathways, this level is very linear in terms of what paths you have to take. There's only one real path. It sometimes feels like a Crash Bandicoot game sometimes. There's only one real path you can take. It's filled with treacherous obstacles and dangerous stage pieces and stuff like that, like what we're coming across right now too. It's really easy to fall off and get killed or something like that in this level. I don't really get killed. Just look at this game, like the first game. When you fall off the edge of the first game, you just lose a life. But in Ape Escape 2, they changed it so you just lose health, so you don't lose as many lives. I guess they kind of did that to make up for the fact that this game isn't as generous of giving away lives like the first one was. So we're going for this more of these Crash Bandicoot-like obstacles, and now we're just running for where there's those, what do you call things? Those things that look like a moon. Almost looks like stuff from astrology. It's like I'm in an astrology class or something like that almost, or some sort of like ancient religion that believes the moon has something to do with how things react on Earth or something like that. It is a fact that some people are impacted by the location of the moon, hence the term lunatics. That's why lunatics are a thing, because they're impacted by the positions of the moon and things like that. That's why people change their attitudes at certain times of the month. Sometimes people act like someone poured crap in their cornflakes sometimes, even though they didn't. And sometimes people feel like overly grateful of things, even though they just lost everything they own, or something like that. And so we're doing some more bull fighting here. As you can see, just like we did in Spain, one of those bulls from Spain somehow found its way into Greece. Imagine it charged all the way from Spain to Greece, which is technically possible since they're both on the same continent. They're both in Europe, technically speaking. So it is possible to run from Spain all the way to Greece. And look at that. Just like the one in Spain, it gets killed easy. We're really awesome bullfighters, I guess. And it must be pissed with us because we have a red shirt. I think they hate the color red. Let's go and capture that one monkey that was hanging in there. And since we'll continue on our quest of this great big pilgrimage of ours to capture all the monkeys in this game. Captures like 300 monkeys in this game, and we're going to capture every single one of them, because that's what's expected of us. That's what society expects for us. Society has it written that when you play Ape Escape 2, you capture every single monkey in the game. There's no excuse to not capture every monkey in the game. You may have gotten away with it in the first game for something, but not in this game. This game is way okay. Maybe some parts of this game are harder than the first one, some parts are easier. Depends on how you look at it. But for the most part, Ape Escape 2 is actually kind of, and the more I think of it now, in terms of like monkey placements and things like that, where monkeys hide and stuff like that, this one is much easier in the first game. You'll see why when we get to the part later on where we have to go back to all the levels and capture all the, and find all the monkeys you missed. You're gonna find that, yeah, this game is overall quite easier in terms of the gadgets you get and stuff, and the game makes it easy. It's almost like the game wants you to beat this game 100% complete. It's like it wants you to get every single thing in the game. The first Ape Escape kind of wanted you to get thrown off a lot. That's why they wanted you to buy the strategy guide. There's an advertisement in the instruction book for the first Ape Escape. It says, buy the Ape Escape strategy guide. buy the Ape Escape strategy guide, so that way you'll know what to do in the game, do in Ape Escape, so you know how to beat Ape Escape subjects, how challenging the game could be, and how hard it is to find stuff in the game. But in this game, I'm not sure if this game has a strategy guide. Why would you need a strategy guide for this game? This game is pretty easy overall, a lot easier than the first game. If you really don't know how to do something, we have the internet these days. We have YouTube. You can just watch my videos on it, and you can know exactly what to do to play your original Ape Escape. That's why strategy guides are kind of becoming a thing of the past now. People don't really make those anymore because they're not really profitable anymore. The reason they're not really profitable anymore is because it's because, you know, we have the internet now, we have YouTube now, it's really easy to find out how to beat games and stuff like that. I owe the internet to how I was able to beat the Mega Man games kind of easily. I did do some research on some of them, except for Mega Man 1. I just recently played the original Mega Man again. It's the first time in years I played the original Mega Man. I played it on my Raspberry Pi, my first time playing it, and I beat the game, because I actually remembered it pretty good, actually. I actually remember playing the original Mega Man. I actually remembered getting through the original Mega Man pretty... Well, I mean, it was a challenging game. I do remember there's some, but overall, actually, it wasn't that as hard as I thought it would be, mostly because I still remembered it well from way back in the day when I used to play the game a lot. It's interesting how you never really forget how to play certain games or beat certain games. Like, once you're really good at Mega Man, you're pretty much always good at Mega Man, pretty much. Even if you take 5 years or 10 years or even more than that off, there's some Mega Man games I haven't played in, like, a decade or so, and yet I go back to them and yet I still remember exactly how to beat them or how to get through them or stuff like that, or the overall order you're supposed to play the bosses and stuff like that. And that's actually quite remarkable, actually. I could remember stuff like that, and yet I don't even remember how Java concepts work half the time, or more than that. Like everything was as easy as to remember as beating the Mega Man games. So now we're coming across some unusual enemies. Again, I'm not sure we saw these enemies. Yeah, we saw enemies similar to this in the beach level. We didn't actually go to this part of the beach level. There are these blowfish things that are hiding there. Yeah, they are enemies. They can destroy your yellow submarine that we have to drive around in. They give us a yellow submarine. And the professor obviously made it. So you can see there's Dr. Phil's faces on the side. It's hard to see, but Dr. Phil's face on the side. So this is obviously made by Dr. Phil, of course. Because, you know, Dr. Phil is always giving us his gadgets. He obviously has nothing better to do with his life, which is why he builds so many useless gadgets. I think he makes so much useless stuff. He obviously doesn't think, like, he probably thinks, oh, ever since my show got canceled, I was left with absolutely nothing to do. So now I'm gonna build new gadgets that might cause conflicts between people in the family, and it might lead to more people ending up on my show in the future or something like that. Or if this is a scheme to bring his show back or something. Though show never actually did get canceled in my universe. His show is still alive and well. It airs on TV every so often, so every on a frequent basis. But I guess in his universe, that's not really the case. In this universe, Dr. Phil probably got canceled after 1 season or 2 seasons due to low popularity. I mean, Dr. Phil can be a pretty funny show sometimes. You see like this guy that disowned his daughter or disowned his son because his son became trans, or you see people that like this kid that plays video games 24/7, and he calls his mom a peasant, and he just plays video games nonsense. People say that, oh, it's the parents' fault because he plays Grand Theft Auto, and a 12-year-old can't buy Grand Theft Auto from GameStop, so it's obvious that the parent had to buy. I think he even gets his games at GameStop. People still go to GameStop to buy games. I used to go to GameStop a long time ago, back when they had PS2 games, and GameCube games, and Wii games, and PS3 games. I used to go to GameStop quite a bit, but nowadays, GameStop doesn't really sell older stuff like that anymore. It's just all the new stuff, which I'm not really into anymore, so I don't really have much use to go to GameStop anymore. And a lot of them closed down, too. I don't even see them around as much anymore, but apparently they still exist based on stuff that I've seen online. So now we're going to Egypt or somewhere like that, ancient Egypt, where there's going to be even more hazards and even more stuff for us to come across, because Egypt is a lot more hazardous and a lot more hostile than Greece, right? Where you have the ancient pharaohs and the ancient tombs, where they probably have the booby traps and stuff like that, like stuff out of an Indiana Jones movie where there's like booby traps everywhere. They have those swords people that just throw their swords around. They have a weakness. You could kill them easy by just shooting them in the head. And it's pretty easy to do something like that. And then there's like, what else is there? There's like poison berries or poisoned food or things like that. And then you have street rats like Aladdin that run around and they probably steal food or steal stuff from you. I don't know. No one steals gadgets in this game. Gadget stealing is not a thing in this game. I bet if Aladdin were in this game, he would steal my gadgets and he probably would pawn them somewhere so he could make a small fortune so we don't have to live like a street rat anymore. We would be street rats if Dr. Phil or Natsumi or whoever it was that sent us all the way here. If they somehow forgot about us here, something happened, they couldn't transfer me back, I would be stuck in Egypt, and I probably would be forced to live like a street rat like Aladdin. If they ever made a movie of this game, that actually would be an interesting side plot or a subplot or something like that would happen. And yeah, an Ape Escape 2, the movie or something like that. Yeah, or even better yet, Ape Escape 2, the musical. The musical based around Ape Escape 2. Where it's all filled with singing and dancing and fun stuff like that. Ape Escape 2, the musical, produced by Ray Phoenix, and it would even have my name on it. Ape Escape 2, the musical. A musical based on, well, Ape Escape 2. What else would it be based on? Ape Escape 3? So I'm also getting very close to the maximum amount of coins you could earn. I know I still have like over 300 coins. Well, if this guy got over 300 more coins for me to max out how much cash you're allowed to carry in this game, how many coins you're allowed to carry in this game, but that's actually gonna happen really easy. It's really easy to get coins in this game, and they're everywhere. The game constantly throws coins at you every single second of this game. Just coins this, coins that. There's never a shortage of coins in this game. This game actually would have been a bit more challenging, I think, if they actually didn't give you as much coins. Look at that, 666. They were captured Chimpet, and now we're going through this Indiana Jones like temple where there's even more hazards in here. The Temple of Doom. Okay, it's not as bad as the Temple of Doom, but it all seems like something that could have been like in the Temple of Doom. There aren't any levels in this game set in India, so I actually don't think we'd ever go to the Temple of Doom. But I bet if they continued something like this for future Ape Escape games, we probably would make us go to India or somewhere like that, where the monkeys are probably gonna be taking over the Taj Mahal or something like that. I can imagine the monkeys would spray paint that. I mean, they spray painted the White House in an obscure Ape Escape commercial. Didn't even say what it was a UK commercial. Didn't even say what game it was for. Just said Ape Escape now on PlayStation, which seems highly unlikely. The commercial was made in 1999, because the monkeys in that commercial kept picking on George W. Bush. There was even a part where it shows a debate between him and John Kerry, which happened in 2004. So the commercial could have been made as early as 2004, but then again, it was made in 2004. Why would they promote a game that came out 5 years ago in a system that's not really current anymore? I think it might actually be a promotion maybe more for Ape Escape 2, or even more likely Ape Escape 3 maybe. And it came out in the UK as well too, so I don't really know how UK. I know UK has some weird terminology compared to, but then again, this is the UK version of Ape Escape 2, so I really should know all the UK terminology, the UK slang that everyone uses in this game. I totally love UK slang. And there are different mini games. I think I mentioned. I like the first mini game you can unlock in this game. It's the Dance Monkeys thing, or some sort of monkey dancing game kind of thing. It's like Dance Revolution, but you have to move the analog sticks around and then to the different beats and music, and then it's like a dance game pretty much. That doesn't make you actually get up and dance like the games on the Wii. And then there's Monkey Football. I think there's a second minigame you can unlock. It's Monkey Football. It's just a football game, but with monkeys. Some people actually report it's the best football game there is. Move over, FIFA. There's a much better football game in town, and it's in Ape Escape 2. And then the third minigame, I think, is the Monkey Climber game. It even tells you, oh, this game is really hard. You have to have, like, extreme skills. You have to have your refrain accuracy to be able to get through something like that. And they're not lying. The game is hard as ass. You have to give precise accurate controls. Most average gamers are gonna get killed in that game in less than 5 seconds. It's almost like that game, that Kevin Costner's Waterworld game, where you have to input $2 into the game, and you only get to play it for like 2 seconds. If that were an arcade game, the arcade game would get destroyed because people would destroy it because of how frickin' challenging it is and how much money it would cost you to play something like that. If it was a little bit less challenging and a little more fun, and it cost you quite a bit more, I bet people would pay a lot of money into it. It's even more difficult than Flappy Bird sometimes. At least Flappy Birds was easy to play. Sure, Flappy Birds might be notorious for being the game that caused people to kill each other or to cause families to get destroyed, but at least it didn't. But at least it didn't. At least it was playable and not unplayable like some other games that were like that Monkey Climber game. You had to really. That makes you want to rip your hair. It all seems like something that could have been on the NES, like Ice Climbers, even though I never actually played Ice Climbers before on the NES. Come to think of it, I really should play Ice Climbers sometimes. I don't really know about the Ice Climbers, because they were in Super Smash Bros. Melee. There's those fire platforms flying around there. We can't do anything about those yet, because we need the water cannon, which is something we don't have yet. A water cannon in a 3D platformer. Where have we seen that before? There's obviously in the competition of this game, because I mentioned this game, I imagine would closely compete with Super Mario Sunshine, because Super Mario Sunshine came out about a year or so earlier, a few months earlier before this game did. This game came out in 2003, and Mario Sunshine came out in 2002. There's only one more monkey left for us to capture in this whole place, this whole pilgrimage of Egypt, and there. I think we did capture them. We didn't capture all the monkeys that were required to capture, then it wouldn't show that ending animation thing, unless that's a glitch in the game, but I doubt that. I think they had much better quality control of testing and things like that in 2003 when they made this game. This is Ryari Fushimitsu, signing out.